6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is a news edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. Early landslide warnings issued to 5 districts. The President stresses that the educational policies of the country will be brought under one single legal framework. The third day of the debate of no confidence motion against Health Minister Keheli Rambukwella commences today. The Inland Revenue Amendment Bill passed in Parliament with a majority of 45 votes. Over 257,000 more beneficiaries will receive Aswesama payments from today. Minister of Education says no decision to postpone advanced level exam. News Overseas ex-Trump advisor convicted of contempt of Congress. In sports, the SETAG Rugby 7-a-side tournament will be held on next Saturday at the CRNFC grounds. And those are the headlines. The Irrigation Department says that the water levels of Kudaganga and Nilwala River are now on the rise as heavy rainfall continues. According to the department's report issued on water levels and rainfall situation in major rivers, the water levels of these two water bodies have reached minor flood levels at Kalavellava and Talgahagoda stations. Meanwhile, the Met Department warned that heavy showers of about 100 millimeters are possible in parts of the western Sabarkama provinces as well as in Gaul, Matara, Puttalam and Nuwara districts. Due to the active southwest monsoon conditions over the island, the southwestern parts of the island are likely to continue to experience torrential rain, the Met Department said further in its advisory. Meanwhile, the National Building Research Organization has issued an amber landslide early warning for several areas in 2 districts, Kaluthura and Ratnapura, and the advisory is in effect until 4 p.m. today. Level 1 warnings have been issued for several areas in the districts of Gaul, Kaluthura, Kandy, Kegaul and Ratnapura. Accordingly, people living in these areas are urged to be alert about the possibility of landslides, slope failures, rock falls, cutting failures and ground subsidence. President Ranil Wickremesinghe stresses that the educational policies of the country will be brought under one single legal framework, without leaving space for any government or ministers to change them in ad hoc manner. To steer the bankrupted country towards prosperity again, a new systematic education should be introduced to the country. The President made these remarks at a ceremony held yesterday to mark the 150th anniversary of Eppavala Siddhartha Central College. The government's aim is to upgrade the education system in Sri Lanka for the world. Meanwhile, President Ranil Wickremesinghe is set to depart for Cuba to address the G77 and China Leaders Summit next week. The summit themed Current Development Challenges, Role of Science, Technology and Innovation is scheduled for September 15 and 16, 2023 in Havana, Cuba. President Wickremesinghe's participation in a summit comes as a result of an official invitation from Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel. Alongside the summit, there are plans for bilateral discussions between President Wickremesinghe and the Cuban President to further strengthen the cooperation between Sri Lanka and Cuba. The G77 plus China Leaders Summit represents the largest intergovernmental coalition of 134 developing countries as recognized by the United Nations. It serves as a platform for southern countries to voice and promote their shared economic interests. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank Excelsior. Live the life you want.
Parliament will meet at 9:30 a.m. today. The third day of the debate of a no-confidence motion against Health Minister Keheli Rambukwella also commences today. The relevant vote will be taken up at 5:30 p.m. Meanwhile, the Inland Revenue Amendment Bill was passed in Parliament yesterday by a majority of 45 votes. 103 votes were received for the bill and only 58 MPs voted against. Meanwhile, the Social Security Contributory Tax Amendment Bill was also passed in Parliament without a vote yesterday. The State Minister of Finance, Shayan Semasinga, said As the second phase of the ASWES Welfare Benefits Program, a payment of 1,550 million rupees for another 257,170 beneficiaries has been paid to the state banks for the month of July. In a post on the social media platform X, the State Minister emphasized that accordingly, the banks will credit the payments to the beneficiary accounts today. Furthermore, Mrs. Semasinghe mentioned that the Welfare Benefits Board will make the payments for the balance beneficiaries after the verification of accounts. It is possible to make the payment for the month of August in one go for all beneficiaries after the payment for the month of July is completed, he added. In the first phase of the Welfare Benefits Program, 791,000 beneficiaries have been paid, a total amount of 5,016 million rupees, while in the second phase, a total of 1,048,170 families were already paid 6.6 million rupees by the government, according to the State Minister. Abra Education Foundation of Berwala is organizing a scholarship distribution program for 50 students of low-income families on the 9th of this month at 4 p.m. at Samrifai Hajjar Mahavidyalaya in Berwala, Maliga Hena. Parliamentarian Imtiaz Bakir Maka said this event will be the Turkey Ambassador R. Demet Sekojiu and Ambassador of Palestine Dr. Zuhair Amdallah will participate in this event. And that's local news.
People's Bank Excelsior, a comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you. People's Bank Excelsior, for professionals who dare to dream.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Education Minister Sushil Premchand says there is no expectation of postponing the 2023 GCE Advanced Level Exam as announced by the Examination Department. While participating in a program at the UWA National College of Education, the Minister said the Advanced Level Examination is scheduled to be held from November the 27th to 21st of December. He said if such a postponement is done, the ordinary level examination and other examinations will get delayed for a long time. The examination schedules and school timetables will again cause confusion, he added.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight, the government has taken a policy decision to increase the number of electric vehicles. When importing vehicles, Environment Ministry Secretary Dr. Anil Jasinghe said. He said the decision was taken in line with the plans to implement large-scale renewable energy projects to meet 70% of the targets by 2030. The use of electric vehicles has become an international trend. The price of electric vehicles is high in the world market, but is gradually decreasing.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
It's the power to live life your way. The power to be a trendsetter. Power to you with digital banking from Commercial Bank. Commercial Bank. Our interest is in you.
First, the headlines: ex-Trump advisor convicted of contempt of Congress. At least 49 civilians reported dead in attack on riverboat in Mali. Japan launches rocket carrying a moon lander after 3 days. And those are the headlines. Peter Navarro, who was a trade advisor to former President Donald Trump, has been convicted of contempt of Congress for refusing to cooperate with an inquiry into the U.S. Capitol riot. Prosecutors said Navarro acted above the law by ignoring a subpoena from a congressional investigation. He faces up to a year in prison for each of the 2 contempt counts. Islamist militants have attacked a riverboat in northeastern Mali, killing at least 49 civilians, the interim government says. They also reportedly attacked an army camp, killing 15 soldiers, while around 50 militants are said to have died. The government has declared 3 days of national mourning. The Islamist threat has been growing despite claims by the military that Russian Wagner Group are turning the tide of their campaign. Japan launched its lunar exploration spacecraft yesterday aboard a homegrown HIIA rocket, clearing a path to become the world's fifth country to land on the moon early next year. Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency said the rocket took off from Tanegashima Space Center in southern Japan as planned and successfully released the Smart Lander for investigating moon. And that's world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
This message is for all the kids between the ages of 4 and 16 who love to draw. Commercial Bank's Arunalu Sittam is back once again. This time, the competition is also open to Sri Lankan kids currently living abroad. First, second and third place prizes will be awarded along with special merit and merit certificates. For more information, visit the Commercial Bank website. We have so many prizes to be won.
Development News is brought to you by
Job opportunities for well-experienced housemaids and home cooks in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait for ages 40 to 58 years. Salary 125,000 rupees. Contact 037 7500 500.
Sri Lanka plans to use the Biagama Free Trade Zone as a blueprint for national industry targeting rapid development over 15 to 20 years, President Ranil Wickremesinghe said. Speaking at an event in Malwana recently, Mr. Wickremesinghe said that significant progress has been made in the Biagama region since the establishment of the trade zone there. The President's Media Division said that Mr. Wickremesinghe had highlighted Sri Lanka's potential to become a thriving investment hub. He had also spoken of plans to open up new investment opportunities on a global scale.
Job opportunities for women from Deshakti Lanka in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Oman. Housemaids and home cooks in Saudi Arabia, ages 40 to 58 years. Arabic speaking and well-experienced home cooks. Salary 135,000 rupees. Interviews are now on with foreign agents. You can travel overseas free of charge now. Branches Colombo, Kurunegala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 0377 500 500. Deshakti Lanka Foreign Employment Agency.
In sports, the Sea-Tag Rugby 7-a-side tournament will be held on the 16th of this month at the CR&FC grounds at Longton Place. 16 teams combining past students of brother and sister schools have relived their rugby glory days of the past. A day of absolute fun is planned out in the carnival atmosphere with street food and children's play area and non-stop music. Starting from 1 p.m. and going on until midnight. There will be 44 games in total, including exhibition games played before the finals, which are scheduled for 7:30 p.m. with the plate final and cup final will be played thereafter. With each team allowed 2 players above the age category of over 25, 3 players above 35 years of age, and 2 female players from sister schools of the boys' teams. The mix ensures that players from different eras come together. And that's sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB I am, a plan for your dream.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Sri Lankan rupee has depreciated against the US dollar according to the exchange rates issued by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka yesterday. The buying rate of the US dollar has increased to 316 rupees 27 cents, while the selling rate is 328 rupees and 6 cents. The indicative exchange rate announced by the Central Bank is 321 rupees and 99 cents, while it was as high as 362 rupees and 66 cents on the 24th of February.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go එකක් තියන youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
In economic news, a group of Chinese industrialists called on Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena to discuss possible investments in the fisheries sector. The Prime Minister said there is a vast potential for investments in fishing industry and exports not only to China but also to foreign markets including Europe and North America. Chairman of Fujian Province Aquatic Products Wholesale Industry Association, Yushu Wang, who led the delegation, said the members of the association ranks number 1 in fish production exports in China, and they would like to set up a large fish processing factory in Sri Lanka. And that's economic news. Weather report. The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at times in western, sub-Brahman and northwestern provinces and in Kandy, Nuwara and Galle and Mathura districts. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters are likely at some places in western and sub-Brahman provinces and in Puttalam, Galle and Mathura districts. Several spells of showers may occur in Anuradhapura and Hambantota districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at a few places in Uva province and in Batticaloa and Ampara districts during the evening or night. And that was the weather report. To wind up this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. Early landslide warnings issued to 5 districts. The President stresses that the educational policies of the country will be brought under one single legal framework. The third day of the debate of a no-confidence motion against Health Minister K.L. Rambukula commences today. The Inland Revenue Amendment Bill passed in Parliament with a majority of 45 votes yesterday. Over 257,000 more beneficiaries to receive the Aswesama payments from today. Minister of Education says no decision to postpone advanced level exam. And with that, we conclude this morning news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.